Hello, everyone. I'm Axel Reinaud. I'm the CEO of NetZero, and we're going to be talking about carbon removal, and we're going to be talking about agriculture. Just very quickly, most of you will know about that. We have a big problem. We need to halve our emissions in the next 8 years and halve them again, every 10 years. And even with that, we still will emit 5 to 10 gigatons of CO2 every year. And to be net zero in 2050, we need to remove those. 5 to 10 gigatons, it's same order of magnitude as the amount of oil and gas that is extracted every year. So we need to build a set of industries, because there's not just one carbon removal solution, that's as big in a way as the oil and gas industry combined. We're going to be talking about the green part here and how biochar can contribute to that. So NetZero, we're a climate venture. We specialize in long-term carbon removal. And basically, the model is to turn agricultural residues that have captured carbon when they were growing, extract the carbon from there, and stabilize it over hundreds of years. We operate a very unique model that works in tropical developing countries, because there's huge amount of biomass and no valorization scheme for this biomass. So actually, this helps get at a very low cost, if not zero cost, feedstock from which we can extract the carbon. And this model is validated. We have full-scale production running in Cameroon, and will run as of Q1 next year in Brazil. And we won numerous awards on our model, and we want to scale to build a highly scalable model. So how does it work? And I think that's it's an interesting twist to carbon removal. So biochar, it looks a bit like charcoal powder. It's pure carbon that's been extracted from biomass, heating it at very high temperature, not using energy, because it just uses the energy of the biomass. And on the one hand, this is a solution that is validated by IPCC to remove carbon over very long duration. Average lifetime is 400 years. So super stable carbon, whatever you do with it, except if you burn it, it will not degrade. The second thing is, if you put it in the soil, it helps improve the quality of soils, hence crop yields. It helps retain water, it helps retain nutrients, and so reduce usage of fertilizers. It corrects acidic soils and favors the development of microbial life. And all of this brings higher crop yields and less usage of fertilizer. So actually, the carbon that is removed from the atmosphere has some usage and can be sold. And this is the key to the business model. We operate a model that is very circular. So we get feedstock from local farms in the form of agricultural residues. We run that into our plant, and we bring back to the fields where we got the biomass, we bring the biochar. So farmers do a kind of exchange, biomass for biochar. And in the production process generates heat. Part of that heat is used in the process, but there's extra heat, so we generate electricity, and so you can bring back electricity also to local communities. And so the impact of this model is that locally, basically, you have long-term carbon storage, you have avoidance of emissions from fertilizers, and you improve the soils. Plus, you get the extra benefits of energy. And the model is financed because we generate very high-quality carbon credits that are certified, and we sell them to corporates, to the stripes and the ones paying high prices. That's the key of the model. So it's a circular model with the local products and then financed by carbon credits. The interest of biochar, I'm not going to say biochar will solve the climate issue. We need to do all technologies, everything from planting trees, restoring mangroves, doing algae, doing biochar, doing direct air capture, and everything. And even with that, we're probably not going to get to the 5 to 10 gigatons. But biochar has specific interest. First of all, it's a known technology. So there's no technological risk. There's just an issue of what is the business model that is scalable. And I think we've cracked that. It's very low cost to produce. It's very long-term removal and very traceable. So it sits a bit in the between the nature-based solutions and the technology solutions, in the sense that we basically let nature do the capture part of the carbon through photosynthesis for free, because it's crop residues. So anyway, you would grow those crops. And then with little technology, you extract and stabilize the carbon. The interest of the model, you will understand looking at that. Basically, you have on the horizontal axis the capex per ton of CO2 removed, and on the vertical axis, the OPEX. And the model of NetZero produces a carbon removal credit at zero cost because we make something useful out of the carbon that is sequestrated. We sell the biochar and we sell the electricity. And so that covers the operational cost of the system. And so basically you generate a carbon credit for free. And this is a very high quality carbon credit because it's long-term removal. The model benefits from actually a number of macro trends. Of course, the climate trend, I'm not going to spend too much time there. And especially the companies having aggressive goals to become net zero in 2030, 2035. And so they are looking for sources of carbon removal for the share they will not be able to reduce. The second macro trend is agriculture. The shift to regenerative agriculture is a major shift in developed countries, but also in developing countries. And using biochar allows to reduce usage of fertilizers and other types of amendments. Of course, there's the whole thing around north-south development and how can you support economic growth. And here you bring jobs, you bring activity, industrial activity in those countries. Access to energy through local production of decentralized renewable electricity. Health issues, many of you will hear more or less around this time the horrendous pollutions in India, because in India they burn the leftovers from the rice crops, and this creates massive issues. It's the same in many countries, actually. A lot of crop residues are burnt, and through our system, basically we make good use of them rather than sending the ashes into the atmosphere. And then there's a trend because of fertilizer. Prices have gone through the roof, and that will probably continue. And so any substitute to fertilizer is actually a very good thing for farmers and for agriculture. Our model has been quite... Sorry, you have a question.
Could you show us what your production facility...
Yeah, you'll get to it in 1 second. Our model won numerous awards. So we are one of the 15 winners of the Elon Musk prize on carbon removal. We've been also certified by the Solar Impulse Foundation, and our carbon credits are certified by Pure Earth, which is the leading crediting platform for the engineered carbon removal. And actually, those carbon credits have already been sold. So to your question, the top part is our MVP in Cameroon. So this one was put in service in end of May. And so he's already certified and producing and selling biochar and carbon credits. And we're in the process of assembling our plant in Brazil. Actually, I could have updated the picture because the assembly is going to be finished 15th of January. This plant in Brazil is double the size of the plant in Cameroon, and this is our own R&D. We have a team that mixes lots of different profiles, hardcore business, hardcore engineering, people with actually a lot of experience in pyrolysis, gasification, and similar types of activities. And basically already, actually it's more than 70 because we're hiring the team in Cameroon, so we're probably around 85 as of today. We're currently raising a Series A, so we raised about 6 million for our seed rounds, where we basically built the MVP, demonstrated the model, demonstrated its replicability in Brazil, and kind of validated the economics of the model, and created a pipeline. We have more plants than we can build next year in Brazil. And we are halfway through, actually we're going to be closing next week, hopefully, the first half of our Series A, to basically help us converge on the technological roadmap and wrapping the model. The long-term goal is to have a model that can be franchised through own technology, but also basically having the end-to-end model that can be put and deployed for large farms, for cooperatives, or for agro-industrial companies that want to decarbonize their value chain. Of course, I'd be happy to answer the questions in the next 20 seconds and otherwise afterwards.
You said long-term removal, so over 100
Yeah.
Even longer, how much could be removed over 500,000 years? Assume that the composition element to it.
Exactly. So depending on the composition of biochar and the temperature of soils, there are some curves that have been validated by IPCC and are included actually in the various standards. And so basically the half-life is about 400 years. We sell the share that is stable over 100 years. So the decomposition over the first 100, with 20% more or less, we don't sell it. We sell what is stable over 100 years.
Thank you very much.